Hey everyone, and welcome to Already Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Star Trek, the original series, Season 3, Episode 12. It's called The Empath. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. First thought I had, before I started watching the episode, I saw the title, I saw The Empath, and I just started thinking about how I instantly know what that means. Because I've watched a lot of shows and stuff with empaths in it, and I just know what the word empath means. And I was just thinking, like, in the 60s, like, when this episode aired, because it actually comes up at the start, and the credits, it says the empath at the start of them.
Yes.
I just wonder, like, did people generally, or at least nerds, did nerds generally know what an empath was when this episode aired?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I guess if they were big readers, maybe, you know, it popped up in books a lot, maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking, maybe there's some empaths, books, comics, that sort of stuff. But
yeah,
that's about it, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't think of any big movies or anything with any.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, there might have been. Someone's going to point out a really obvious example. There was an empath in that movie in the 50s.
None are coming to mind. But...
Yeah. Because it is funny to think that Marvel Comics was only like 3 or 4 years old at this point.
Yeah. I'm thinking, was there any X-Men with them? X-Men were like not a thing.
No, X-Men would have been a thing.
Barely though.
Yeah, it was the original 6 X-Men. And just the original class was Xavier, but there would have been a thing. DC, of course, had been around for a bit longer, but I can't think of any empaths from the Golden Age and early Silver Age.
None spring into mind, no.
That doesn't mean there wasn't any, because there's a shit ton of DC characters, but yeah, I mean, if I can't think of one and I'm a DC fan, I can't imagine there was a big group of people at the time who knew what an empath was. I don't know. I was thinking about it. I was just thinking, as a concept, we're so used to that now because of things like Star Trek, which made it popular. Which, you know, because Troy in Next Generation's an empath, and that's, you know, she's a main character. Empath is just something that nerds know about now, and maybe people as a whole know about. Maybe not everyone. I don't think if I asked half my relatives what's an empath, I don't think they'd get it right.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like people who are I'd say maybe tuned into pop culture.
Yes, there you go. Probably
know what it is. I don't think you need to go as far as say nerds.
Okay, yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I say nerds. I mean, obviously these days the term nerds kind of broadened a little bit because now it's kind of just one of the main groups of people as opposed to a niche thing. Yeah. Many people as a nerd, because there was a time when you could recognise someone and go, that's a nerd, just by looking at them. Whereas now you find out all sorts of people are nerds. Big muscly bodybuilders, you never thought they were a nerd, but no, they're playing their World of Warcraft at night.
Is that all it takes to be a nerd? World of Warcraft?
I think that's pretty nerdy.
I mean, fair enough, I don't know.
I mean, I've never played it, so I look down on them.
I mean, fair enough. I don't know. I feel like just just playing a game doesn't enough to qualify.
Oh, but specifically an MMO where you're spending hours and hours leveling up your paladin. That's what I'm getting at here. Not just a game. I'm not saying people who play FIFA are nerds.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, different levels, I guess. I wouldn't have leapt to that.
And before anyone gets mad here, I'm saying this as someone who plays a lot of bloody video games and reads a lot of comic books. I'm a pretty nerdy guy. I'm just making fun of just one particular thing I don't do. That said, the bottom of the ladder, the bottom rung on the nerd coolness, if you will, the very bottom.
I dread to know where you're going with this.
Is definitely LARPers, right? They're at the bottom.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one.
I think playing role-playing games is cool, D&D, fantastic, especially when you start playing it with different settings and stuff. But the LARPers, the ones who go dress it up and play it in real life, they're at the bottom of the rung.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're still wonderful people, but you're definitely the lamest.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. I mean, I personally might have some opinions about weeaboos as well, but I feel like this is more objective. LARPers at the bottom.
I mean, you wouldn't be wrong about the weeaboos.
Yeah, good. I'm glad someone agrees. I mean, sure, I played Hatful Boyfriend once, but it was ironically. It was ironic.
It was very ironic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about Star Trek, the original nerd thing, in many ways. Yes, the birth of the modern nerd. Nerdom as we know it is now, what, 60 years old? Almost 60 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, so this is the Empath. This is the episode where Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, because it's always them, never send any red shirts down on their own, just to, like, in case it's dangerous.
I can't afford extras.
That's the sad truth of it, yeah. And they go out to this planet. The sun in this solar system is about to go nova, so they want to try and rescue anyone who's down here. But there's no one here. It's mysterious, and they find a tape. One of their discs, their little squares that they use, and it's like, oh, these people vanished just like that out of thin air, which I thought was very funny given what happened last episode. That was kind of something that was happening to other people, but they vanish as well, and they're not actually vanishing, they're just teleporting to this secret underground base, where the Vians are doing experiments. They meet this empath who doesn't speak. McCoy just names her Gem, which I thought was weird to name her Gem when it's so close to Jim.
Yeah, the first time he said it, I thought he said Jim, and I was like, why are you naming her after him? Like, that was weird. It took me a couple of times with it being said to be like, oh, it's Gem. It's
just so similar to Jim, it felt like a weird choice. I'm like, pick Ruby or Crystal if you want something in that family of of stellar words.
Were they tainted as stripper names at that point?
How is Gem not a stripper name now?
I mean, Gem probably it's not as much as Crystal, is it?
No, I think you can get away with Ruby. Ruby's an actual regular name.
People you get away with Ruby. Crystal. Come on.
All right. I don't know how advanced stripper culture was in the 60s.
No, me either. It's better than how advanced it is now.
Yeah, right. So they are basically being held captive by these alien dudes, the Vians, who have big heads. They're actually not a million miles away of the creatures, the aliens who were in the cage way back at the start of the show, with the big heads, big bald heads. Not exactly the same, but very similar. It reminded me of them. And it seems they're doing some sort of test. And they've already tested, and the result has been that they've died as the people who were on this planet, the researchers they came to rescue. And it's they play some games with them. There's a mirage at one point of Scotty and a landing party here to rescue them, but they're not really there. And the whole thing is testing Gem. We don't actually find out till the end what they're testing her for. It's kind of a mystery throughout the episode where Kirk and Spock and that are like, what's happening here? Of course, the big thing with her, specifically with her empath, because sometimes empath just means they can feel your pain, not necessarily absorb it, whereas she actually takes, because at one point Kirk's an injury in his head, he's got a cut, and it transfers to her for a little while. She feels the pain and then it disappears. So she heals as well quite quickly afterwards, but she takes the pain from them. And that becomes a thing. So what are they doing? She seems to be key to it, whatever they're doing, but she's not necessarily one of the experiments like they are. And the big thing we lead to, and again, full spoilers of course, is that they are testing her to see if she is compassionate and would be willing to give up her life to save someone else, and therefore her entire planet and race of people in this system will be worth saving, because they've got the technology to save the entire planet.
Yeah.
Not this planet they're on, another planet in the same system.
Another planet that they've taken off from.
Yes. So that's what they're trying to do. And so they're basically intentionally almost killing McCoy. McCoy specifically at the end, but any of them would have done. It was just no, we're going to try and play games with them and try and kill them at various points. And if she is willing to take so much pain that she'll die, we'll save her thing. But of course it becomes this thing where she's willing to do it, and then it doesn't happen anyway because Kirk and Spock get out, and then they argue, no, she was willing to do it, it just didn't go through. You're lacking compassion, you've forgotten your own teachings, how are you any better? And you know what, Kirk, damn it, you son of a bitch, you're right. Okay, we'll save the planet. The end. So that's the episode. Did you enjoy the Empath?
Half and half. The first half when they're just doing all the tests on it, I thought, a bit tedious. Once it got to as McCoy was dying, once after he was taken, they go rescue him. I thought from there it really perked up, and I really enjoyed that back half. That's
fair. Yeah, I'm kind of murky. I don't know if I would necessarily split it straight down the middle like that, but I am kind of murky in the sense that there's some things I like, and there's some things that feel kind of just kind of muddy. I thought it felt that weirdly repetitive the way they kept kind of what you were saying the first half, I guess, but it kept coming back to this same just ultra dark room with them sitting in this little stool in the middle, and that's kind of all it was for a while. And and when Scotty appeared, I was like, okay, this isn't real. They're not really there. I got that immediately, and we have to go through
all of this section. I thought it was just kind of killing time.
We have to go through the realization I suppose where it kind of perks up for me is I like some of the visuals here or there. I thought when it first cut to Kirk and the chains, and he's kind of like almost levitating. He's on chains, but he's suspended in the air. Like I thought that was like a really interesting visual for Trek, because it was this dark room and he's up there. It felt properly alien and sciencey, as opposed to, you know, I feel like this show a lot of times has really bright, colourful sets, even when it's like aliens we're dealing with, and it'll just be, it's like the Enterprise. It's just pink and green instead of whatever the colour of the Enterprise is. Whereas this felt okay, as much as it's kind of a cheap thing just to like have the infinite darkness, because that's kind of a way to avoid building a set. You just, you know,
it works because it was something different.
Yeah. So that's fine. I almost wish they'd just taken away the little like machines they had around, because they looked really cheap. So it was just like, no, just make it infinite blackness, and that would feel surreal and alien, and I could have lived with that. That'd have been fun.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think it's when we got to the point where they decided, you know, they had to choose which one of them was going to be given up, or which one of them was going to stay behind. I think that's where it really picked up. That's
where it picked up, because they say, you're the captain, is that right, Kirk? And he's like, yes, so you're responsible for your crew. You have to pick which one of the two, between McCoy and Spock, will be our next experiment. There's a 95% chance that McCoy will die, and there's a 93% chance that Spock will get brain damage, which will mean he'll be insane. He won't die, but he'll be insane for the rest of his life. So, I mean, basically dead, right? Either way, you're killing someone. And McCoy, they kind of debate it for a bit, but McCoy ends up drugging both of them to knock them out.
Yeah, he knocks Kirk out. He's like, it's on doctor's orders. I'm still the doctor. You got to go through what I say. You need the rest, because he's got the bends for whatever reason.
And then Spock's like, well, with the captain out cold, that puts me in command, so I shall sacrifice myself. Because obviously Kirk wants to sacrifice himself at first, and then Spock wants to sacrifice himself, and then McCoy knocks him out, and he's like, well, I'll do it. You stay with them,
It's
Jim.
almost like this little comedy bit, isn't it?
It almost is, but the whole point is that each of them are willing to sacrifice themselves for the others. No one wants the others to die, and that's supposed to be what inspires her, and she's going to take this quality on. I guess, I think where it maybe falls a little bit is that I don't know if the duration of the episode building up to the reveal of what they were actually doing actually kind of sets
you
up...
never got that idea across beforehand.
Yeah,
like that's what they were doing.
Because before it just kind of felt kind of evil and vicious, and when they try to spin it as, no, this was a good thing, all I question then is, okay, why did you have to test a race of people if they were worthy of being saved? Like,
I
kindness
guess that's
is just
kind of the point. Right.
I mean, it is, but it feels so undercooked. Like, kind of like last week in a sense. There's some good ideas, especially towards the end.
Yeah.
But it feels a little bit undercooked to the point where I was kind of sitting there going, "All right, I can kind of see what you're doing here." Again, much like I think last week's was better, but much like last week's, I don't think this is an embarrassing episode. I don't think this is like a terrible episode by any means. It's kind of a okay with some good ideas.
Could have been great.
Yeah, exactly. It's not an embarrassing episode. I mean, again, it's just kind of limited by certain choices they've made and kind of what they focused on in the script and how they split up the story.
But there are some individually some really good moments. Like say, you know, that conversation where they're all deciding who's going to go, and you know, McCoy's last words, you know, being, you know, giving Spock a compliment.
Yeah, that was really good. That was great. And then, of course, Kirk convincing the Vians was good. But I almost wonder, like, if there should have been more of that, like, there should have been more of a reaction to it with them realising, oh, wait, yeah, we're kind of being dicks about this.
Yeah, I think so. They kind of just went, okay, job's done.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, quite right, Kirk. All right. Yeah. Click. Done. Like, you know, it felt too easy.
It did.
And whatnot. Like, if he'd... Because maybe if they had a reason why they had to test them, like maybe it was between... What if it was between two planets they had to save, and they could only pick one?
This is what... I think that was the implication, is because... They mention how, you know, there's all these planets here, but they've only got the power to save one.
That's true, they do say that, yeah.
They do say that, but the fact that they're only testing one species, right? Have they already discounted all the others? Is this the last one to check in, or...?
I mean, if they've already tested all the others, then surely this one is the best by default, if they've already decided the other ones aren't worth saving.
Yeah, I guess.
Which is kind of dark when you think about it, that even though they convinced them to save this world at the end, all the other worlds with life on it are already dead. I mean, I suppose the other worlds may not have intelligent life. It may just all be like wildlife, and therefore...
It could be, yeah.
Therefore, that's why you pick this one, because, you know, intelligent life, but...
Yeah, it could be. It's kind of, like I said, it's a bit murky, isn't it? It's just not quite there. Like, there's implications of things, but it's just not fleshed out.
Yeah, I don't feel like it clearly defines all the things it's doing. Again, you get the gist of it, but there's definitely gaps in the logic and the plot.
definitely. But it's far from the worst episode.
Yes, no, I agree. I agree. But yeah, so no, it's not too bad. I do like the actual. I mentioned when it first cut to Kirk and he's in chains. I actually especially like that because it cut to that from the Enterprise, and it's just like the last scene we see in the Enterprise before we get to the end. Probably about halfway through, maybe even earlier than that. And they're just like, oh, what should we do? This solar, storm or whatever is, we can't get close to the planet. We're staying out of harm's way. What about the crew? Should we try and get in and see if we can get a lock? I was like, no. The atmosphere will protect them, Sully. Don't you worry about that. And if I know the captain, he's more worried about us than we are about him. And then it cut to the Kirk in chains, in pain, just like streaming for his life. That was almost darkly funny. Like I almost
it was. Yeah.
I got a little chuckle out of that. But yeah, and of course they actually had the friendly banter final scene, which we've been missing for a while.
It was weird. I was like, oh, this is back.
Yeah, and of course it's like, oh, they're very logical, but realise that maybe they lack compassion. Maybe someone should tell the Vulcans about this. What about it, Spock? Do you think you could tell us? Like, I'll give it the consideration it deserves. The insinuation being it deserves none, and just walks away. Yeah. So no, that was good. By the way, I don't know when this happened, but McCoy's in the opening credits now.
Is he?
Yes. It may have been there all season. Maybe I've just only noticed because obviously now I zone out when the music's playing.
That's why I haven't noticed because I don't pay that much attention to the
opening
credits.
Seasons 1 and 2, it was just Kirk and Spock. It was just William Shatner and then Leonard Nimoy as Spock, as Mr. Spock rather.
I'll have to take your word on it. I assumed he'd always been there.
Oh no, it was definitely just a 2 for a long time. I have no idea when it changed, but it definitely changed.
Okay, I'll take your word on it.
Someone can film it. Maybe it's been like all season. I just haven't noticed. It makes sense it'd be the start of a season.
It does, yeah. Like I say, it's one of these things that you watch the opening theme once really, and then it's just on, right?
Aye, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's there, but you're not necessarily paying attention to it, that much.
It depends. If it's one where they show clips and if it changes every season, I'll always watch the start of the new one. Like when it comes back.
Okay.
I'll always change because even Westworld changed what was in the opening titles.
Yeah.
In season 2.
No, it's true. I guess even that I didn't pay that much attention to. I'm just like, it's opening titles. I don't.
Oh no, I'm like, what's different? What have they changed? Like into it.
Fair enough. I don't think I'd care that much about them. I just listen to the music and
missed them.
Wait for it to be done.
I miss shows having the proper, all the heads of the actors as the music plays. I miss that.
Yeah, okay. It is a thing of a bygone age.
It is. It really is. This isn't that, of course. This is before even that. I mean, I'm sure other shows at the time had it, but Star Trek doesn't have it. But I do miss it. I do miss it. I every so often I'll see like a nice fan made like, oh, here's what Westworld's titles would be like if it was the 90s, and it'll just be fun to see that stuff. But hey, so that's episode 12 of season 3 as the Empath. We do have extra episodes of this happening in July, make-up episodes for the month and a half or so that we missed once we were really busy over April, May. So you'll be getting extras per week, not next week necessarily, but soon. There'll be. I won't tell you when exactly because we'll be fitting them in where we can, but there'll be extras
we've got
here
it roughly lined up. We know when they should start, but we just aren't looking at that right now.
Yes, and obviously they could be pushed slightly depending on anything else that pops up, but there are make-up episodes planned, so we should still be finishing season 3 by the end of August, I believe, if my memory serves me.
Yeah, I think it should be around then. Definitely still this summer.
Yes, and then we'll be on to the movies. And we'll work out the schedule for that when we get there. If things stay as late as they are up until then, it should still just be one a week for the movies anyway. It might get a little bit hairier if it's a bit busy, but that's the plan. But anyway, so that is the Empath. So let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can do that over there. There's links to all the various shows. For just $1, you get these episodes a week early. And if you can't support us there, don't worry. You can support us by watching ads on YouTube and like and subscribe and comment. All the usual stuff. All of it helps. So thank you very much for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys, and we'll see you next time.